First week, whoop, 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 whoop. First week, I've got the book ready to go. I really did try to get ready ahead of time, and I would have had the laptop was logged into the wrong email address to get started, and so then that just put me back. And then I couldn't use my phone to verify it because my phone is streaming. So it was the whole thing. All right, let's get in on the back end of Pop Shop Live. And I just closed it. That was awesome. Brilliant of me. That's what that was. Let's go. I'm going to throw in some bookmarks. Okay, so you're new. Welcome in. So book talk. Usually it's on Tuesday. We do Book Talk Tuesday because it's alliteration and it sounds fancy to say that. We do Book Talk Tuesday and we talk about one book in Rachel's book series each and every Tuesday. I don't know what that is. I have the shampoo for the babies. Like,
who is Bailey?
I don't know. I mean, we do have 2 kids that could be considered babies, but I didn't know there was like special shampoo. Somebody's giving us shampoo for the baby. I don't know.
That's really curious.
That I know, right?
Like,
it'll be interesting to see if that text message pans out.
It's part of a group text too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting shampoo for the babies. I don't know. All right, sent us a code. So Book Talk Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but anyway, so Big Talk
Wednesday
is we dive in and we do spoilers. We talk about. There we go.
Waterworld Wednesday.
Waterworld Wednesday. Too bad I wasn't smart enough to like do that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I know, right? That'd have been fancy. All right, so we're gonna. So Rachel wrote this book series, Gabby, and it's called Color World. And then at a certain point, this gentleman who used to be a friend, and you'll find out why. So wrote this book, and he was like, "Look, you all write books. You should make metal bookmarks because people love metal bookmarks, and it makes sense for an author to have their own line of metal bookmarks." So we had commissioned some art earlier, and we had all this art, and it was very difficult to make it on tour, only selling a book. And so we got the idea from Jerry, and we were like, great idea, Jerry, let's do it. And so we started with 2 designs, and they sold completely out first show. I thought, well, that was weird and successful. So we doubled it.
Totoro
and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Sold every single one of them. And then we doubled it, did 4 of them, sold completely out. I thought, let's test the limits of this. Did like 12, sold completely out. And then we went to 25 different pieces of art on metal bookmarks. And finally didn't sell out of every single one during the convention. So I knew I had something when I could keep. So then I would go and we would meet new artists, and I would intentionally commission an artist knowing that I was going to crop the piece of art into a metal bookmark. And then we did it for years, and Funimation came by one day and was like, "Hey, that's our art. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, give me a license to do this legitimately, and then you guys can get your cut too." And they were like, "Well, if you're serious, I'm very serious, and I'm going to bring the licensing agent by your booth." And they did, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this can be us." And I said, "Yes, we would love to do anime on metal bookmarks." And so, like, this is an example of an officially licensed metal bookmark from Funimation. You can see the legal lines right down there at the bottom. So we now have over 1,100 different metal bookmarks, and the business has exploded. But we're bringing it back to the books because that's what started this whole journey to begin with. And where is the latest book? Oh, there it is. The latest book just dropped, Gabby, on Valentine's Day. And so to...
No, it is Gabby.
It's Gabby.
Man, I'm blind from over here.
Uh-oh. Don't worry. Most people at Color World are blind, I found out. So this book just dropped on Valentine's Day. This is the 4th volume of Waterworld. So book 6 is actually broken up into 6 books. And we've been just talking as the date has approached. We've been talking about all the different books in the series because it's been so long since Rachel and I have been together that we can actually talk about books now. So it was a way to generate excitement about the new release. And then let me go ahead and put we have 6 kids. This one appears whenever we do book talks because that's how we have to. Yeah, we gotta do it with you, buddy. Yo, Jasmine, welcome in, Jasmine. All right, let me get some metal bookmarks into the show.
You should be happy today because he just woke up from a very long nap.
Uh-oh. They apparently changed how this works. And now I can't select. Oh my gosh. This used to be easier. All right, give me a sec, folks. It's always tough when they change how things work. Maybe because I'm in orders. Yep. Let me jump over to the inventory tab. He is adorable. Rebecca! Welcome in, Rebecca. All right, so let's type in bookmark, and then we're going to add bookmarks to the shop so that you all can peruse while we talk about Waterworld. Doo-doo-doo. All right. Tokyo Ghoul, that's a good one. Toru, that's a great one. Anybody watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid? This is an adorable anime. Absolutely adorable anime. We'll put People Love Sailor Moon. Sokka, my favorite comeback character. I hated Sokka. In fact, for years and years and years, I turned off Avatar The Last Airbender because I was like, this guy's so annoying. If he does one more annoying thing, I'm shutting this cartoon off and I'm never watching it again. And so for like 15 years, I didn't watch Avatar The Last Airbender until I met the cast. And then they were such cool people. I was like, all right, fine. We'll do an Avatar The Last Airbender event and I'll finally watch your dumb cartoon. And then it turned out to be one of the greatest things ever made. So really, really good. That was all true. Everything I just said was 100% true. I actually really like the cast. Dante Bosco is an incredible human being. It's no surprise that his fan base loves him. He's just a really spectacular human. Gray Griffin, we ended up working with all the time. We've worked with Gray about every single month ever since we had the cast event. Jack DeSena is wonderful. You know, that one of the great moments of that whole thing was when I told him to his face that Sokka was my least favorite character. But he didn't wait for the story to end. He just started giving me a hard time until I finally finished my story and told him that Sokka ended up my favorite character in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I'm a huge fan of people that grow as a person. And Sokka, I felt, grew the most in that series. Magical Mischief. Welcome in, Magical. Okay, so the first set of bookmarks just hit the shop. And then I'll do the second page. Can I select all? That would be really... No, can't select all. All right, let me put a second page of metal bookmarks in here. And then we'll get going and dive into our book talk. Oh, we're almost there. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Silk, Suyu, Asawi, Toko, Suyu. Oh, hey, there we go. We got to put the bookmark that started all. So this bookmark, the Totoro that's going to be entered in, is one of the very first 2 that were produced. So it makes sense to put that as one of the metal bookmarks that we're going to put in there. Yo, Kira, welcome back, Kira. What just happened? All right. Tell him, Yovel, tell him. All right. That Moltres bookmark is actually really cool. I just saw it laying around here. Mewtwo. The Ditto, we sold out of Dittos at our last show. It's a cool bookmark. People like Ditto a lot. All right. And add to the show. Boom. All right. Those are in there. And then the last thing, of course, because it's a book talk, is we've got to put the books in there. We got to put the books. We got to put the books. Boom. 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 And I do still have some illustrated editions left, so we'll put those in there. And there's the first 3 books, and then, all right, we're in. All right, yes, and then the autographed copy of Color World goes to the number 1. All right, let's do it. So behind us, you can see some of the 11, at least 1,100. One of these days I'll count.
Pretty sure we're at 1,300 now.
1,300?
No.
That's a lot. Well, Eric keeps doing Pokemon. There's a lot of Pokemon. Oop. Let me check in on the multi-stream. Yay, Nick, what's up, Fiore? It's, oh, wrong book. It does many, many times, Fiore. We have said Urza instead of Ezra because we're such fairy tale people that we definitely, oh man, Nick, you've got to watch Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's so much fun. It's adorable. And season 2 is just as good as season 1. It's great. And there's another Ilulu. Ilulu is the new dragon in season 2 of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Ilulu. Okay. Everybody hears us. No problem, I take it. Yeah. Audio's good since we've all been chatting this whole time. All right. Welcome to Waterworld Wednesday. You just keep dropping stuff. To this week, we're talking about volume 1 of book 6, which is Ezra, not to be confused with Urza from Fairy Tale, who's amazing. Okay, is this your favorite book?
The Waterworld?
Of the series? No. You still love
Dreamworld is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What were you so this is the first time you've written from someone that wasn't female, because your book series is written in first person.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time you weren't a woman as the main character. Were you nervous at all about writing? What made you choose Ezra to lead off, where each character that you feature in Waterworld gets their own book, their own volume? What made you choose Ezra?
Well, because I just wondered what Ezra been up to. It's like you haven't seen Ezra for all of
Dreamworld?
for a while. Well, no, we saw him in Dreamworld. It's just that we knew he was, Wendy at the end of her stint in Dreamworld, like she murders Andre. And you know that he's had Ezra, and you're like, wait, so what happened to Ezra? Because you don't really know where Ezra is for the entire book. You know that something happened to him, otherwise he would have shown up when Wendy appears, but he hadn't. And so I was like, well, what has Ezra been up to? And I wrote the epilogue of Dreamworld with Ezra in it, and I just loved it so much that I was like, I have to. I was initially going to just leave the epilogue as the only thing that was Ezra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was going to write Waterworld from his point of view, and it would just be kind of like a little teaser. But I just loved it so much that I write the whole thing, Ezra.
So you had already written the epilogue when you wrapped up Dreamworld?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then instantly, as soon as you close the epilogue, do you know, like, or once we had the conversation?
Once we had the conversation, then I was like, yay!
Yay, Ezra! Okay, why do you love Ezra so much? What about Ezra has you?
He's like a guilty pleasure. I think everybody would probably enjoy being a teenage boy, just once in a while, just to like.
Everybody should be a teenage boy.
Yeah, like, it was just fun, to kind of try to put myself in the place of a teenage boy.
What did you do anything to get into that space? Like, what made you feel like?
Oh, well, I didn't hold back on sarcasm or making fun of himself or. Ezra has like this, at least initially, sort of like detachment from his sexuality, and then like, the 7 sisters end up having to like pull it out of him, and then he's like, yeah, I like girls, and so it was kind of fun to get him out of his shell a little bit, that part, because Ezra's not really someone who's in a shell, but when it comes to his confidence with women, he's lacking there. So it was fun to
what do you think made Ezra not really think about, I'm going to highlight Ezra since that's the book we're talking about. I'm going to make that the featured item.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. Ezra. And welcome in RNA. Welcome in JYK. Welcome in Nicole. Welcome in everyone. What do you think? Because he's in high school before, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, he is, but then remember, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in which he hasn't been in school, Like,
well, I mean, when we meet Ezra and Wendy in Color World Book 1.
Oh, yes, Ezra is in high school.
So
yes.
what kept him from being that hormonal teenage
8%,
boy?
by the way.
Well, sure, but that'll go to like 4% before I have to
Just
be.
checking. Sure.
Oh yeah, I don't plug my stuff in. In fact, that's a feature of Color World live streaming on Pop Shop, is that some device is going to die. I'm going to try to prevent it. I'm very prepared this time. I mean, the cord is literally.
I see that.
Yeah. See.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to.
All right. So what was the question?
So when we meet him, he's already a teenage boy in high school.
Yeah.
And at that time, we don't know everything that's about to happen. So what keeps him from just being a regular old teenage boy?
Oh, well, we learn, I guess, in Volume of Waterworld, Ezra really did struggle quite a bit socially. I mean, he's so smart. He had a really hard time relating to people for a long time. We don't really get to see that. He seems pretty well adjusted when we meet him. But one of the things we learned, for example, is that his mom did not want to put him in gifted classes because she felt that it wasn't going to benefit him. It was only going to detract from his social ability. And so she kept him in regular high school because she knew that the skill he needed to develop was his social abilities. And so he had a really hard time communicating with people.
So his mom already knew that okay, so gifted, sure. And I would imagine until proven otherwise, most parents think their kids are gifted.
Well, we don't know that yet until
the next apparently book, you knew.
Because the next book is his mom.
What's up, Aaron? Welcome in. Okay. But is that why she's attempting to hide Ezra?
Yes. So she definitely tries to hide both Wendy and Ezra. And really plays down their abilities on purpose.
Okay. So she knows that their ability, Wendy's ability to hear is. So
she obviously really emphasizes Ezra's ability to cope in the normal world because, she has every expectation that that's where he's going to remain. Okay.
Hide him in plain sight.
Yeah.
All right. So is there any amount of Novin in Ezra, or was that written so long ago that you really didn't know?
No, I don't know.
Do you watch Novin and go, oh, I nailed this teenage boy thing. I'm so good at this. Do you ever
No.
No?
I mean, yes and no. So Novin has, not to talk about him too much on the stream, but
he's pretty socially awkward.
He is, and he's also kind of in denial of his own sexuality.
That's what begged the question when you said.
So I would say that I hadn't thought about that until you asked it. But, with Ezra, before I wrote his book, I was a little nervous about writing from a male point of view, especially a teenage boy, because I've never been one. But I did some research and read some articles.
You did research on being a teenage boy.
Not teenage boy research, writing research. In which it's how do I write someone who's not the same sex as me?
Oh, there's articles on that?
Yes. And the advice is write the character.
Okay.
It's basically the same advice David Wald gave me about writing a gay character.
Oh.
He's like,
write the character. And if they happen to still be gay, then
No.
From David.
You don't have to try to make them
right.
You don't have to try to make them a teenage boy. You don't have to try to make them male or whatever.
Right.
You write it.
Write the character.
Write the character.
And the character happens to be gay or male or a teenager. Or I mean, there's some in terms of being their age, obviously their reaction to certain, like their reaction to things that happen to them.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I think that was, and this is stereotypes, because obviously people are on varying parts of the spectrum.
Oh, sure.
Of
No, no one is all these things.
Yes,
right.
But Ezra, the thing that I felt that was the most male about him was his ability to kind of just like blunder through things and be like, well, that didn't work out, and then move on. Whereas like Wendy's like, ah!
She's always so concerned she's gonna botch it.
Yeah, whereas Ezra's like,
I'm gonna botch it. Let's go.
That's rough, buddy. Like, so that was really refreshing to write a character who could just like screw everything up and then kind of move on.
Did you chuckle then as he like says things that get him beat in Ezra? I always remember.
Yeah. I mean, it was so fun because he's always weighing like, how snarky can I be?
Yeah.
Do I want the satisfaction of being snarky, but then also probably being shocked by Ricardo
beating him
or getting beat over the head? Like, man, I really want to be sarcastic. Okay, I'm going to be sarcastic, and then he does that.
Then he gets beat.
So many good lines. So many good lines in that book.
What did you? Has he always had that capacity in him to be that funny? What made Ezra so funny? How did you arrive at the fact that this kid was just going to be hilarious?
Well, he always had been kind of inopportune humor guy through the series. Like that has kind of been his MO. So it was really just kind of letting that all hang out.
Okay.
Because not only do you get the stuff that comes out of his mouth, but you get the stuff that goes that he wants to say. He's thinking in his head. So that makes it even more funny.
Okay. Do you ever just laugh? You're just like writing in.
Oh yeah, I still laugh even when I read it. I'm like, oh my god, that's so great.
Now, do you give yourself credit for that, or are you just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny? Oh man.
Probably a little both.
Both.
Some ways I'm like, man, that is so clever,
You're like, go Ezra. Oh wait, that was me.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, usually if Novin's in the room, so my 16-year-old, he's in the room and I read, and I'm doing something with the book, and I read a funny line. I'm like, oh my gosh, Novin, you have to hear this. And so I'll make Novin read it. There was one I had him read. I mean, he was rolling on the floor.
There's that picture on Instagram, I'm pretty sure.
He was rolling on the floor laughing for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, he just thought it was so funny.
I feel like I found that on the camera roll, and I was like, this has to go on Instagram.
She had texted it to me.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. So funny. I admit it, for me, so Todd Haberkorn originally voices all the male characters, and then Jeremy took originally all the female characters. And I have to admit, when we got the sample and Todd used Natsu's voice for Ezra, I lost it. I was like, this is gonna, like, I am so tempted to. Oh, there you go. I put Ezra over there on the bookshelf facing.
Nice.
Right? I set that shot
Good
up.
job.
Thank you, marketing department. I almost want to skip straight to Ezra's audiobook, even though we're on Shadow World now, and there's technically Shadow World, then Dreamworld, then Ezra. I just want to like put this in Todd's hand and be like, Todd, please. It's mostly you, so just record it now. I almost want to put out the audiobook just because it's so. I should really ask Todd about what made him because he chose that voice. I don't think that was Melissa. He chose to put.
Well, yeah, he would have, because he did the first book, and he picked his voice on the first.
Yeah,
book.
so that's interesting. Like that's where he and maybe it's just because Natsu is a teenage boy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Natsu is also, interestingly enough, also asexual in a way. Like if it's put in his face, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's hot." But you know what I mean? On an episode by episode basis, Natsu is essentially asexual and completely oblivious to how.
Such an anime thing. It's like Monkey D. Luffy too.
Well, Luffy is, but Asta's not. Asta's totally.
Oh well, yeah. From the beginning, he's like wants to marry what's her face.
Yeah, the nun. The sister, whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, and hey, John, hopefully you got that wave was for you when you said hi, Brad and Rachel. Oh, you watched Hinamaru Sumo? Okay, we'll have to talk about that at some point when it comes up. That's how I learned about Riko Fajardo. That is an amazing anime, and I love Riko in it. Lemillion is my least favorite Riko Fajardo character. I love Hinamaru Suma. Okay. So Teenage Boy, you did research. Essentially, the bottom line was just to write the character, and then he just so happens to be teenage and just so happens to be a boy. Do you need me to try?
Maybe.
To
Use the stand. Are we talking about this one?
no, but I didn't have 2 copies of Ezra. Oh, he's just mad because he's not hanging out with you.
Well, I was just told him he was mad. He's mad.
Why are you so mad? Look. You see the camera? Look up. Look up. It's the Walmart TV network. Look up. That's the commercial at Walmart for the Walmart radio. And I guess, do you think that was like subconscious, like them telling people to just look up and read the signs and stop asking people where the departments are?
No, and they used to have like
or did
they
they
used
have
to have televisions.
Did they have ads playing on the
Yeah,
television?
they did.
All right. Welcome in, Sandy. How's it going? Okay. How did you decide on 7 Sisters? Is that just a convenient 7 days a week?
It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do they have any brothers?
Well, first of all, I thought it would be really fun to have Horatio just be like everybody's baby daddy. Like that he would just have a ton of kids.
Oh, really?
He seems like a very like virile,
spread your seed
like,
kind of guy.
Yeah, like have many children. You know,
oh,
I wanted to like contrast like his kilt wearing self to be like. I just want him to be, you know, he's got a beard. It's like he's just
manly.
He's like man.
You want him to be very
and also
lumberjack man.
You know, I haven't revealed, you know, whether they're all from the same mother or if they're, you know, if there's like.
Have you settled that in your own head?
No, I think they're from different mothers. Personally.
Oh man!
So because a lot of them are like close in age and stuff. So.
Oh my.
But there are other children. He has.
Okay.
He has one other son.
He has fathered
2 other sons.
Many
Two other sons that we know of. So he's got 7 girls and 2 boys. So that's 9 kids.
Quite the seed
already
spreading.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ezra asked that, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what the answer was. I know there's at least 9.
Okay. How did you come up with Horatio? Do you just sit down and like, I need another bad guy?
No, I was like, I need just a really interesting character.
Really?
And I want him to be, because he's kind of obsessed with Wendy. So I wanted Gabe to feel a little bit threatened by him, right? Because this Horatio guy is super into Wendy. Almost like worships her in a way because of her ability. And so he needed to be like physically threatening. And then I was like, he's wearing a kilt.
Okay, you're just like, you sat up straight out of bed one day and you're like, this man wears a kilt.
Well, I read this. So I read what I thought was, I think I told you this. I got one of those free on Amazon books.
Okay.
Like, because if you're a Prime member, they send you like a bunch of books you can choose from that are free. And one of them was like a historical fiction. I thought it was historical fiction, but it was actually historical romance. And it was from Scotland. And like the male love interest is like wearing a kilt.
Clearly.
And it was hilarious because the whole book, she's like, and I just wish and every time his kilt shifts and his thigh is revealed, like
scandalous.
So ridiculous.
Scandalous.
So I was like, I have to put this in the book.
Okay. Is there any shifting kilts in the book?
No, there's not.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that. I would have skipped over it for sure.
But I also wanted something for Ezra to make fun of.
Oh man.
So Ezra's just like, he's in a kilt.
He's in a kilt.
Not really sure what to make of this. So yeah.
It's compensating.
Yeah, so Horatio needed to be like a.
How did you get Horatio? How did you get that name?
Oh, Horatio Vega? That doesn't sound like a really like.
It
might not even be his real name because it's just such a good pen name or such a good stage name.
It's a stage name.
Horatio Vega.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like.
So did it come from Esteban at all?
I don't.
I'm pretty sure that's Esteban's last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can never get over the introduction to that wonderful CSI Miami where Horatio Caine, and then the screaming.
And then he says some.
Yeah.
He says some cheesy.
Always.
Pun.
Always with the cheesy. I love Horatio Caine so much.
Him and oh my gosh.
Same show or what?
Chuck Norris. Him and Chuck Norris.
Oh, Chuck Norris.
Which ironically is featured quite a bit, and so they're doing him, Ezra and Ricardo are doing Yo Mama jokes, and then Ezra makes a Yo Mama joke includes Chuck Norris, and Ricardo's like, "I'm done.
I've lost.
I'm done. Nope. No, you just profane Chuck Norris.
Blasphemy.
You're gonna die. I've got to get out of here.
Chuck Norris will punch you momentarily.
Yeah.
I must leave."
Yeah, so that was really.
I love Chuck Norris jokes. Are you personally a fan of Chuck Norris jokes?
Not really.
No.
No, but I know it's a thing.
So funny.
I had to have Chuck Norris in there.
I do love Your Mama jokes too.
If he's still alive, we'll have to ask Chuck Norris to do a cameo.
Yes, to be himself in the. Oh my gosh.
No, he can't be himself. There's no Chuck Norris in the books. There's just a joke involving Chuck Norris.
Well, he definitely needs to appear in that book. I don't care.
Maybe he can play Horatio.
Is Horatio that skinny? I guess in my head he's.
I don't know. I mean, Chuck Norris is pretty ripped, so.
Well, sure,
but
like
80 or something.
He is not
really
80.
old.
I don't think so, but he's definitely. I would buy 60 easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh, I think he's in the 70s for sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
One moment.
Oh, got Autumn here.
He just takes new mail or what?
81 years old.
81!
I was right!
Oh, no!
80! See, he's going to
Chuck
He's about to
Norris.
be 82 years old, March 10th.
No!
be. Him and your dad could be homies.
No! He's gonna die. Can you imagine a world where there's gonna be Chuck Norris funeral jokes?
Oh,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What hits harder out of the grave? Chuck Norris.
Oh gosh.
like there'll be all kinds of jokes about him coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
Like,
And punching.
Nobody can kill Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Even Chuck Norris's own death didn't kill Chuck Norris. Yeah. It'll be like so much. Yeah. Oh. But Chuck Norris is so manly that he showed up to his own funeral. See? See?
Yeah.
They write themselves.
Exactly.
They write themselves. I love Chuck Norris jokes.
Yes, watch Black Clover. It's a good show.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you like Shonen.
Yeah. Asta's a great character. I don't like him as much as so many Yukihira, but I do love Asta a lot. And what's funny with Black Clover is that normally the shonen hero is the one with like kind of the most power, and Black Clover is unique because the shonen hero has no power, and that's like the opposite of your usual shonen. So, hey, welcome in. Let's get moving. We are moving. We're talking about Waterworld. I guess I can grab that. It's been. See, look at that, conveniently placed in my shot for marketing purposes. All right, there we go. Oh, you know what would be really, see, then I could say, not to be confused with.
Urza.
It's Ezra. See, get it? The joke? Okay. All right, so Chuck Norris is going to have a cameo in the movie. That's fantastic.
Better get on that.
We need to, yes, oh my gosh, why is it the 6th? We might have to we'll start with Dreamworld, and then we'll make this. And
Fairy Tale, John.
And then Chuck Norris. Oh, yeah. Fairy Tale is our favorite anime.
Yes.
Fairy Tale is our favorite anime. Which is why the cast of... Do I have that? Nope. I must have put it back in someone's setup. We have a little... topper that goes above the metal bookmarks at conventions that tells everybody that we have the cast of Fairy Tale as our actors for the audiobooks. It is... In fact, Jeremy, the whole reason we really got into anime to begin with is that Jeremy bought the books in the series, and then I was like, I feel like this person is a guest at this convention. I better look her up, and sure enough, she was. And I was like, well, if she's reading our stuff, I'm gonna go watch her stuff, and then I watched Sword Art Online.
That's not actually how it happened. No, because we didn't realize that she was Lucy. Because I remember we looked it up and we were like, oh my gosh, she's Lucy.
Well, sure.
Fairy Tale. So we had already seen Fairy Tale.
No.
By the time she started.
No, at least for me, I looked up what she was in, and I started. Sword Art Online was my first ever anime, And then I thought it was so good that I thought, well, maybe anime isn't as bad as, because man, eight years ago, it was still in the time where anime was very like faux pas and not mainstream. And so I was surprised that I enjoyed the anime, because originally when I tried to watch Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon, I thought anime was so bad that I couldn't bring myself to watch it. And so I wouldn't. Like, I'd never seen other than a couple episodes, but she bought the book because she is just like Lucy in that she actually carries books. It's funny, while we're talking about her husband's texting me to join a raid in Pokemon Go. She's just like her character Lucy in Fairy Tale, and she keeps 7 different books in her travel bag when she flies, because she wants to have the perfect book for the right mood, and she does not know what kind of mood she's going to be on when she jumps on the plane at the end of the convention. And so she likes to look on the show floors for new books to read, and then she picked up Color World. Well, she tried to buy it 3 times and we were sold out. And when we saw her the 3rd time in a different city, that's what clued me into that she was probably a guest. Otherwise, there would be no reason why I kept seeing the same woman at different cities. And her mom, in the beginning, I didn't know that her handler was her mom until we became friends and got to know each other. So yeah, that's how anime and Color World came together. That's how that's how the cast of Fairy Tale ended up doing the audiobooks. It was Jeremy's first ever audiobook, Brittany's first ever audiobook, and I think David Wald's first ever. It's really only Todd Haberkorn had a lot of previous experience doing audiobooks. But it has been an awesome working together for sure. So there you go. That's a long answer to what our favorite anime is. All right. Horatio, it's so funny. I love how you get to, you're like, I need a person, and then you kind of like start just dreaming of. I guess it's the beauty of being an author.
Yeah.
How do rules play into when you create people, or is just the sky's always the limit? Do you ever feel like, oh, I'm pushing this one too far? Like, how do you know where the boundaries are, or there just aren't any?
I don't think there are any. I mean, they have to be like believable as a person.
Sure.
A character. But I don't think I ever, push too hard on anything.
Do you feel like your moving about the country so much has given you access to a lot of palettes?
Probably.
For different people?
Well, mostly settings, I would say. I have more confidence writing in different settings.
Yep.
A lot of authors stick with places they know. But I'm unafraid to write anywhere in the country.
Well, I've definitely seen you on Google Maps before.
Well, usually I do that when I'm something is happening in a particular place, and maybe they're traveling from point A to point B, knowing like the scenery. Mm-hmm. So Google Earth is really helpful for.
Yeah, sorry, Google Earth, not Google Maps.
Yep.
Did you have intentions to keep this? It starts in California. A lot of it's in California. Did you always have? How did it play in terms of how much of the United States, or whether you're going to stay? Did you always plan on staying domestic, or was introducing the rest of the world just too much?
Well, I just don't have the confidence because I haven't traveled outside of Canada and really Mexico. I could probably write Mexico with some measure of confidence, but outside of that, I don't have any experience. So
I know that I've always been terrified of Mexico. Like, I considered it like almost a miracle that you made it back alive. I hear either two things, like Cabo and like going on vacation and drinking and partying, or I hear that someone was stolen, or they were robbed, or there was a murder, or they were imprisoned by the Mexican police.
It is pretty crazy. I mean, it's definitely one of those places that feels lawless when you're there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what I enjoy about the world. I'm a Law Moses guy, so the more.
Yeah, but so much of it is like confidence. It's that way when you're anywhere in the United States, even especially if you're in a bad part of town. Like
it's true.
When we've done conventions, I've always just navigated things by just yeah, I belong here. What are you
Yes.
looking at me for? Like, so I think Mexico's the same way.
Okay.
You know, if you look like you're scared and uncomfortable, you're probably gonna be treated like
You're gonna die.
Yeah, you should always act like you belong wherever you are.
Yes. I know that oftentimes when I give instructions now and I'm asking something, like for instance, we parked in the loading dock all weekend, last weekend.
Mhm.
I was not interested in paying for parking, and the gate was open and the security was atrocious. And I just didn't have, we had more than one vehicle for the first time. Hiding one van for free parking for 3 or 4 days is not impossible, but 2 vans, I was like, goodness, where am I gonna? And I wanted the van out there for inventory because we had bought, and several times we rated the setup for. And I remember giving someone else instruction, and I was like, whatever you do, don't talk to anybody. Somebody, like, you see somebody out of the corner of your eye, you go, you do the thing, and you come back, and you don't make eye contact, and you don't acknowledge that they're there. That's how you're gonna get away with this. Is if you look like you're not supposed to be there, then they're gonna go, hey, you're not supposed to be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how many cities have we been? Hundreds of cities we've been in with how many thousands of dollars, and we've never been robbed. We've never been.
That's
held
true.
up. Never. And when we park, we're not parking in like.
Yeah. We don't park in parking garages.
Yeah, like it's usually somewhere off, a mile away.
In a neighborhood.
Yeah, or some
like
gravel lot somewhere,
Yeah.
and you have to walk there at night and you're carrying all that money, and like
that's true.
Like I've literally walked through places by myself with a lot of cash. And I'm just
I hate that part.
People say hey to me, I'm like, hey, what's up? And I keep walking.
Yep.
So there's just it's a good lesson I think if it teaches self-defense classes, that should be one of the things they teach if they don't already do it.
It's just straight up confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The self-defense part should be secondary to the just nobody touching you part.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you can not get to that point, then it's like,
better. Yeah. Better to never need your self-defense.
Yeah. And I've walked with like other females before, and they're always like concerned they're always looking like what street they walk down. They're like, oh, this one is busier, so we're going to walk down this one. And I'm like, okay. All right. Head up, shoulders back, eyes forward. No one ever asked you questions.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I constantly catch myself straightening my back when I'm out in public. I feel like it adds 2 inches when you're not slouching.
Yeah.
All right. Did you, in terms of telling Ezra's story, did you think ahead of time in terms of the degree to intersection he would have with Wendy? Like, did you ever feel the urge to kind of solve the puzzle and get him back to Wendy, or were you perfectly?
No, because I really wanted to know what was happening over there in California.
Man.
So fun.
Yeah.
When he meets like Eden. He meets Eden. So Eden is Fia's twin brother, the tattooed Legolas.
Tattooed Legolas.
Yes,
one of the greatest descriptions in all of Color World.
That guy's awesome.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, no, I could have lived that life for several more books. It would have been fun.
So, are you tempted then? Is there more? I mean, Ezra's really young here. Do you have any intention?
Oh my gosh, I think it would be so fun to like make Eden and Ezra best friends, and then like write some tales of Eden and Ezra.
Can we do like a buddy cop book?
Yeah.
Would that be awesome?
Where the 2 of them are on some sort of adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then there's just kind of that rivalry because Eden sort of makes eyes at Kaylin. They become sort of fast buddies. And Ezra's like, whoa, I made a really big mistake. So now he's worried, that Eden and Kaylin are going to have a thing. So I just think it would be really fun.
Oh man. Yeah. I love it. All right, well, let's hope that we can get that Eden and Ezra story. Maybe we kickstart that after the main series is over. I guess it will depend on how much of the world is left. Oh my gosh, could you stop distracting? Welcome in, Matthew. Welcome in, Austin. It's going to depend on, I guess, how much of the world is left by the time you wrap up the main series as to whether or not you can tell us.
Oh, I'm sure the world will be left. Yeah.
So there's no impending doom coming.
No, not for everybody.
I gotta go.
Go where?
Oh wait, is
No.
it 6:30 or 6?
No, there is no
Oh, you're going
activity.
to hip hop?
6 or 6:30.
6:30.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
6:30. Good.
So what do you? Whoa, what's going on there? Don't make him spit up. All right.
Hi fam.
Oh my gosh.
What? People love me.
Welcome in, more old stuff collectibles. Appreciate everybody joining in. For those that just hit the stream, we're talking about Ezra, which is book 1 of Waterworld, and Waterworld is book 6 in the Colorworld book series. We've been chronicling the journey from Rachel's first book, like I did that, Colorworld, and then each week we've gone into a different book in the book series in preparation for, and I don't know where I put this book. It's somewhere around here. Oh. In preparation for the release, which just happened last week, of the 4th volume of Waterworld. So this is the newest book. It is available now. You can order it. Oh man, have I put it in the shop? I haven't put it in the shop. If anybody is up to this book and needs me to add it, please let me know. I know was it Black Friday? There was one day where we could not keep a single book in stock on stream. We sold out of every single book that we had. And it was a little while before we ordered them and got them back in. So if you have already purchased the other books in the series and you need me to add this latest book in the series, let me know. And we can add that in. Yes. So Kane, we are live right now on Pop Shop. Live is a website. Kane, if we're live on Pop Shop now, for anybody that wants a complete book bundle, you have to get with Lois McAllister after the stream. If anyone wants a, what is that, 9-book bundle, man?
9 books.
Yes. No.
It's
Yeah,
on
no.
colorworldbooks.com.
There is, and is the special still on?
Is it on? It should be. It's supposed to be 2 weeks, right? Or is it just 5 days?
I couldn't remember if
Yeah,
it was
it's
the
9 books.
it was the 2 weeks. Okay, Rachel's gonna look it up. Okay, so we're gonna look it up. We can do an equally exciting. I think it was 130 for 9 books.
It was very affordable.
It was a crazy good deal. And if you all on Pop Shop want us to add in the 9-book deal, we're looking it up right now to see if that special is still available. We could just make it a Pop Shop exclusive. We should do that for Book Talk Tuesday. Okay, 130
It is available.
Okay, so if you all would like, and it looks like does it come with those?
Yes, you get your choice.
That's insane. Okay, so if you want us to add that 9-book combo with the 9 bookmarks for $130, please let us know. It is US dollars. Absolutely, Kane. That is US dollars. Ooh, why did that go away? There we go. So that, Kane, is on colorworldbooks.com. Let me type that website in for those folks that are wanting. Okay, colorworldbooks.com, which is obviously different from the colorworldlive.com, which is very much about anime merchandise. Books you are very welcome, Kane. Available at colorworldbooks.com. Expedia forever changed that in my head that you just have to say it now like .com. That's how it goes. All right. We're talking. There we go. I have to remember which book we're. Okay. Was it fun to really? I mean, you get some real powers here in this book. Previous to Ezra, Kaylin is really the only badass in terms of like fighting ability.
Actually, so.
I mean, Mike can punch your lights out and throw you across the room, but he doesn't fight with powers.
Well, so
Yes.
Horatio and his kids together are quite powerful. But if you remember Eden and Fia, one pushes and one pulls air.
Right.
So one can push air, one can pull air. So they're really useless by themselves, and then
Not really. That's freaking Aang. Somebody that can push or pull air.
no, only push and only pull.
Okay,
So
great.
one only pushes, one only pulls. So together they have to work together to be able to make their power. So that's the whole.
No. Okay. If you're fighting Fia and she goes, aren't you like, woo? Like, that's it. And if you're fighting Legolas, Eden, if you're fighting tattooed Legolas and they like pull you, like you can easily be pulled into a punch. That's a great combo. Pull the air, punch, done.
Yeah. Sure, but
I'm just saying.
you're like, oh, nobody has really great.
Okay, no, I said nobody has fighting powers. Name another person in Color World whose powers are used for fighting. All right, so this guy, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, we really haven't seen, like, people are smart, people can hear, people can tell versions of the future. Like, there's a whole lot of really cool powers, and they're obviously designed to be believable. But this is the first time in Ezra that, like, your physical being could be affected by this person's power.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, even Wendy, people are always afraid of Wendy in terms of like what could accidentally happen. But I feel like the longer the book series goes on, the less concerned people are that she'll kill someone intentionally. Like, doesn't she shoots Andre, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, even though Wendy could have, with her bare hands and had an alibi.
I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, what you see in Ezra's book. So you see this fire tornado, right? That's the big thing that, you know, Ezra sees them in this fire tornado coming after Gabe and his crew. That it took almost all of the kids and Horatio to create this fire tornado and control it and move it the way they wanted to. So yeah, it's very offensive, but it took, and that's, again, the whole book series is about this, working together being the way to actually create these crazy powers that you see things that are like mind-blowing, like a tornado of fire.
Oh, so you mean, now did you have that concept when you had Kaylin and Wendy?
Well, yeah, I mean, Kaylin, she's very powerful, but even in Ezra, where she takes out the communication tower.
Oh.
She takes out the communication tower. I mean, the power isn't all on her. Like, it's not all from her. So she doesn't do any of that by herself. She does take out the fire tornado, though. Maybe. But yeah, so Horatio and his kids all have something related to or that helps fire. So, and if you pay attention to their names, all their names come from other languages that have to do with fire.
Oh,
So,
that's fancy.
yeah.
Is the Fire Nation your favorite nation, or that just happened to be how that book works?
That's how it worked.
I know Bea is very much an Azula person. Ivy, welcome in. Christine.
She identifies herself as Water Tribe, so.
Oh, probably because she wants to marry Sokka. Water Tribe. Sokka's so great. Oh man. Okay. So then it obviously didn't occur to you in terms of their individual fighting ability that they're. Do you, when you assign someone a power, like how long does it take you to sit down and think about what someone's ability will be?
Well, usually I have something that I want to happen, and then I create the people who can work together to do that thing. So. And
is it always working together?
Yeah. Like, I don't know of a time that it's not. I mean, like the fire tornado, I've written that scene from Gabe's point of view, Gabe and Wendy's point of view originally. And when I wrote that, I didn't know what had caused it. I just knew that they'd encountered this crazy phenomenon.
Okay.
And it's only in Ezra's book that you find out that it's actually caused by people, not.
Indranil, welcome in.
It's believed that it's just this
Natural phenomenon.
disaster occurrence that's happening, but really, funny thing. Hold on, I'll look it up. There's that actual fire tornadoes that.
Oh yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, and California is on fire basically every year, once a year at least. There's a and fires have increased in frequency. I would say in the last 5 years, 6 years, we've seen huge amounts of acreage burned in this country.
2021. There's lots of videos of fire tornadoes.
Giant fire tornado, powerful fire tornado.
After I wrote the book, mind you.
Of course. We all know that you're leading the way. Tyrone! Yes, Tyrone. I want to make sure I got that name right. I might have better than perfect vision, but that's still tiny font from here.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Yeah.
Tyrone.
Okay. Offensive powers. Did you have a hard time ending, Ezra?
No, man. I
Really?
loved the ending of Ezra so much. It was so revelatory for me. I was like, yeah, Ezra. Oh, he's the source of it all. Boom. We all think it's Robert. It is in a way, but it's really Ezra. So
that's funny. Did you now you've seen is it Numbers, right? You've seen Numbers. Yeah. Did Ezra's ability get influenced by your
maybe consciously? No, subconsciously, maybe. Sure.
Do you enjoy that show? Like, is that on your list?
Really?
Really?
It's okay.
Okay.
So, Ezra's thing is more about seeing the pattern and intuiting it, and the hard part for him is actually translating it into numbers, whereas the numbers guy seems to be very good at just the formulas and things. That's where Ezra's he takes so long he takes his ability for granted because he doesn't have a mathematical way to express what he sees.
Well, isn't that just because the guy in Numbers is like a PhD mathematician?
Yeah, and maybe. If there was a series about him when he was a teenager, it might look similar.
Right? I would think that Ezra, ultimately, that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Is his ability to just, I can always hear the sound of the chalk.
Parallel, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Did you, as far as, so you had a romance novel that spawned Horatio, a kilted Horatio. Are there influences for the daughters? Like, how did you make each daughter different?
No, I just needed to make Ezra really uncomfortable. It's like he's going to be bombarded by females every day for a week.
Every day.
Because, and the reason I did that is because Ezra gets in his head so much, like when he's doing math, and it gets boring. Like you're like, okay. And I didn't want to overload people with his theories and explanations.
Nobody wants to read this.
Yeah, nobody wants to read that. We're we just want to know what the conclusion is. We
gotcha.
So if anybody wants to read that book, I'll write it for you. But I don't. It's not magic science. I have put a lot of thought into, why things make sense, and so I ended up cutting a lot of stuff because I was just trying to whittle it down so it was
interesting enough
that people thought okay, this makes sense, but then not too much, and people be like, my brain is falling asleep right now. So the Seven Sisters was a way for me to kind of be there while Ezra's doing his work, but not have to participate in
they weren't helping with the math.
Yeah. Well, Hestia does. She's put me to work. You're doing this wrong. So.
How did I not remember that there was a Hestia? Because that's way before we got the license for Pickup Girls in a Dungeon, right? Way before.
Yeah.
Maybe. What year was Ezra written?
2017. So 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely before that license, I think. Interesting. And where did you get Hestia from?
Again, it's a name that means fire. It has to do with fire.
That's interesting. That because Hestia is definitely a firecracker in Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. I love that character. It's probably my favorite Lucy Christian character. I mean, Nami's okay. Unadaka is all right, but I love Hestia. I think that's an amazing character. So that's interesting that that has to do with fire. She's definitely a little firecracker in the anime. She
And
is.
Hestia is probably one of my more favorite sisters.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The Ark. I love that it's called the Ark. How did you? That's a pretty.
No, it's just laughing about.
Oh.
Uh,
You're just gonna have this moment to yourself? Or are you gonna share? Like what?
okay. So one of them's Kalita, and she walks in. She's Thursday's babysitter. My sisters haven't been properly taking care of you, she says, tisking. You are hard as a rock. Yep. I go, oh, she's rubbing his shoulders, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep, I gulp, bending forward under the pressure of her hands. Sweet mother of holy, wow. My eyes close on their own, and it's like her hands are rippling pleasure through my whole body. My cheek is now plastered to my desk, and I'm probably drooling, but I don't care. No wonder people get massages. This should be considered inappropriate. What's your name again? I mumble under her magic hand. Kalita, she says. Stop talking. I rub, you work. Work?
Oh, man.
How? I don't care. Yes, ma'am, I say, reaching across the desk for my pencil, but my brain is a goopy pile of mush. Next time, she says, I'm bringing my table. Give you the full treatment. Full treatment? What does that mean? And then her boobs are in my face as she leans into me to put pressure on my shoulders. I am not getting anything done today at this rate.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he just has all these like inappropriate interactions with these females.
Yeah. Well,
I'm looking for Hestia.
when they're doing things like
okay,
that.
Hestia is Tuesday's babysitter, but I prefer Tia. What do you need me to do? So she's like, I'm not. They're supposed to take care of him because when he gets working, he doesn't shower, he doesn't eat,
Right.
so they're supposed to make sure he like takes care of
Doesn't
himself.
die.
And she's just like, you're a big boy. What do you want me to do? Like, stupid.
Oh, she's not. It doesn't even remotely. Into
Hestia is also kind of Horatio's right-hand woman.
Yeah.
So kind of initially,
She's like, this is beneath me. I have other things to do.
there's one of the brothers that we don't really get a lot of interaction with. He's kind of a hothead, and Horatio sidelines him and says, I'm sending Hestia in. You go home.
Get out of here.
Yeah, because Hestia is like very powerful, but
What's up, Francisco?
level-headed. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, did you know what order they were gonna come in? Like, man, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot more characters in Ezra.
well, you look at it, it's just like, it's in the same chapter, so it just goes. It's kind of like a journal. It goes from like one day
right.
to the next day, few paragraphs, and then the next day.
Did you enjoy this kind of like rapid fire character introduction?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to come up with something unique for each day.
Right.
One of the girls is super shy. She's a reader, and Ezra just gets distracted by she's like laying on the table, like reading a book, and he's like, what is she doing? And then he gets distracted by her, and then he realizes that she has been on the same page for a long time, so she like knows she's being watched.
Oh.
And so he goes back to his work.
That's funny.
And then there's some some of them are, one of them is like very feng shui, and she's like, this room is all wrong. We have to rearrange everything. And he's like, another one is like, you need a schedule. You have to write a schedule because you need to follow a schedule. And so she comes up with this whole schedule for the day of like when he's going to eat.
This is intense.
And then Fia comes in and just assaults him, and is like, in his face, what are you listening to? Like, I can get you more of the music that you're listening to. Because Ezra starts listening to rap music. It's one of the things that helps him concentrate. And she notices and is like, I can get you more songs,
So where did that come from? How does hip hop? I
just thought it would be kind of a neat thing for Ezra to discover. He has such a hard time concentrating, and it's like, well, how can we help him? And just the idea of like rhythm seemed like a good idea for him. He's not ever really been into music that much, that he might find that soothing.
Hip hop music soothing.
Yeah, rhythm. I mean, Novin listens to like epic
Oh,
trailer
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Like that's what helps
Anime
him
fight
concentrate.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, but he didn't. But rap in particular,
Well,
as
actually,
opposed
well,
to
what
like
happened
trance or dub.
no,
or,
because Ricardo, who in the beginning of the book, who has him captive,
right.
brings in his music and starts listening to it. And Ezra's like annoyed at first that he's playing this rap music while he's trying to work until he realizes that it's actually helping. And then he's like, can I get that? Can you bring that in again? Like, so that's how he discovers.
Because there's kind of a rhythm to like trying to do, to math.
Yeah, there's a chapter in here that where he discovers that and becomes kind of his thing.
Excellent.
I thought it'd be a cool thing for Ezra to have.
Yeah.
Listen to rap music.
Does he have a favorite rapper?
I don't think he does yet because he has such a limited selection.
Oh, sure.
He just has what's available on like his iPod or whatever.
On Ricardo's iPod?
Whatever it is they bring him.
Okay. Well, where does it come
It's like
from?
an iPod, I think.
A shuffle.
Yeah, I don't know. You have
Back
to
in the
read
day.
book. Read the book. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Details.
Yeah,
Details.
it definitely
Details,
has. It's
details.
been a sec. So 2017. I know I read it that year.
It's been a while.
That's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you have any doubts when you hit publish on that people were gonna love Ezra?
No. I was like, if they don't love this, they should die in a hole.
They should die in a hole. Oh man.
They should have nothing to complain about with this book.
No. Yeah, I don't know that I ever heard. I don't know that I don't know that I intentionally avoid reviews. There's just so much stuff going on at Color World that I don't like. Oh, I wonder what the reviews are on. I should look at that.
I mean, it's got like everything. It's like super funny.
Romance.
There's romance. There's
drama.
There's action
Suspense.
and crazy superpowers.
Yes.
And yeah, like Ezra is like, I really, of all the books, I want to see the movie poster for this book.
Oh, really?
It's gonna be like Ezra looking really badass, like because he's got that scar on his chest.
Yeah.
That Andre carved the
symbol,
symbol on his chest,
Yep.
which is so ironic because it's supposed to be Fia's symbol, but in reality, it actually represents the golden ratio, which we know is heavily connected to prime humans.
Yep.
So he's marked Ezra with what he actually is.
As a prime.
Instead of like, you're garbage trash, right? And then he ends up with the knife at the end, where they find Andre's knife with his belongings. And then Ezra's into this like cloak, right? Because on the Ark they have cloaks. That's like their uniform. And so Ezra in a cloak with his like scarred chest and his knife. I mean, come on.
What's up, Wade?
So I need someone to like do that art for me.
Super.
But like in like.
Do you want like
realistic?
Army of the Dead looking, where he's like pile of bodies?
Well, not
sawed off
bodies.
shotgun.
Just Ezra.
Just Ezra. Do you want him on a horse? Is this like a Vladimir Putin?
He does get on a horse.
He does.
With
he
his
does.
cloak at some point.
He does get on a horse. Why did you call it the Ark?
Because it's going to be flooded. It's going to be flooded. California's going down.
That's interesting. So they're because of something they're gonna do, or because they just know.
That's what the prediction says.
Oh, that's true.
That's what the prophecy says.
That's true.
So.
What do you think gives modern day Californians so much confidence to live there and Florida?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because isn't that the prediction now in this world, in our timeline right now?
Well, California makes less sense than Florida does. Florida makes
doomed.
No sense why anybody would live there just because of how low it is. But California is still relatively like.
Well, certainly many parts of California are
like,
mountainous.
The ocean would have to go up quite a bit.
Right.
To
yeah.
Very California.
And Northern California
but it's just like it's the fault line that kind of follows the border.
Andreas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes people like.
There's a lot of movies about the San Andreas Fault. I'm pretty sure The Rock is in a movie about
called San Andreas.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a factor in
I don't, and Florida just is barraged by hurricanes repeatedly.
Yeah.
That it doesn't. I don't get the appeal of you versus a hurricane. The hurricane wins every time. There's no like you versus the hurricane and you
Yeah,
win.
I mean, like, if anybody believes in climate change
Right.
and lives in Florida, just
Those two
doesn't
thoughts are
make sense.
incongruent.
Just doesn't make sense.
Gotcha. All right. Well, do we still have this? We still end Ezra with the same looking United States as we start, though. Yeah.
Yes.
So nothing. Things are impending, but they haven't
Well,
arrived.
no, the Caribbean subduction happens.
Okay.
So that does happen. The pending one that's supposed to take California out, though,
Has not
has not
arrived.
happened yet.
And really, we leave that kind of urgency.
I only watch dubbed, John. Sorry, I'm a little late answering that question.
No, we said your favorite dubbed in, which
Yeah,
is Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale, but I
Yeah.
only watch dubbed anime
Yes.
because I don't have time to watch
To read.
and
Well,
read.
Michelle, welcome in, Michelle. Man, welcome in, everybody. There are plenty of bookmarks that have been put into the catalog while we talk about the book series. Each book, if you get a book, will come with a bookmark. So feel free. If you want to grab a book, you can grab the bookmark with it. And if anyone wants the 9-book combo that we have up on colorworldbooks.com, it's $130 for all 9 books, including the brand new book that just dropped on
And
Valentine's
tons of
Day.
bookmarks, exclusive bookmarks that are you can only get from us when you buy a book. So there are bookmarks out there that go with each book, and you get a choice. There's 2 exclusive for each book, and you can choose which one you want.
I don't know why this is his preferred like position to be in, but he's like, I'm good to go right now.
If you turn the fan on, he'd be like,
Oh, real? Should I? I could.
is it like low?
Yeah, we could try that. No. You have to go. No, you have to go. Oh, I think it's on a separate switch, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, we'll try it. Try it out. It'll start on high. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
All right. We're going to see if he's super into the fan spinning around above his head. That's probably what he's looking at now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Life with a child, with a baby.
It's like grabbing your face.
What age is toddler? What age
When they start walking?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like everyone's a baby until they can walk, and then they're
I
a
think
toddler.
so. That's been my understanding.
I mean, that seems pretty logical. If I was naming things, that's the cutoff I'd make.
I love that.
Well, I have my leg prepared so that should he like roll forward out of my hands, that I would just like bring my leg up and catch him. I've almost all the kids I have held with just my legs only, because I've always needed my hands for something else. So I made sure that I could contain. Yeah, it's just
Babies are so funny. They're just like,
flopping around.
yeah, I guess that's their baby workout.
Welcome in, Kevin.
It's like what they can do, so that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they gotta learn how to work all the parts so that they can walk and become a toddler. Man, I mean, in a lot of ways, the universe is smaller because it stays so close to Ezra that.
Yeah, you definitely get a look into somewhere that you don't normally see at all. You know, California is cut off from the rest of the world.
Oh yes.
It's really.
People are just kind of watching it on TV, yeah.
Well, they don't know. They can't. Nobody knows what's going on in California.
But
Like,
they've seen the fires.
Yes, but not only if they try to approach. It's so obscured by smoke that satellite can't really see what's going on there. So that's another reason that they do these regular fires, is to literally keep people from seeing what's going on.
And what do we know in Ezra what they're planning?
Well, yeah, they're just awaiting this.
Subduction?
No. I mean, because they don't think that the subduction is going to take them out. They think it's just a ploy to try to flush them out.
Oh.
And then, so they believe that there's going to be a gathering to the ark. That
Oh.
Horatio believes he's creating this like haven for primes.
And they're just
There.
lighting the fires to obviously
Keep everybody else out. Yeah. Because Horatio has like this. It's a splinter group
Welcome in, Sarah.
from the guild. So he's he believes he's got the truth or whatever, that he's a true prime, and that the primes will eventually turn to the Amalgam, which is the organization that he runs. So
And where does Andre fit in terms of like?
okay, so Andre, I wish I could find the exact scene. Ezra describes it so well.
Welcome in, Anna.
Andre leads Horatio to believe that he's on his side and that he's going to be sort of the mouthpiece outside of the Amalgam. So Horatio, in a way, is very secluded. He's trying to organize Southern California,
Right.
Having these trade routes and water distribution that's happening. Like, he's managing all of that. So he doesn't really have time to worry about
What
the outside
Andre's
world.
doing.
So Andre's supposed to be his, the guy who's supposed to be handling that, dealing with the guild and like, arranging this exodus.
But he doesn't realize that
he doesn't realize
Andre
that
hates.
Andre is actually subverting everything, and that his goal is so he's using the Amalgam's resources
Oh,
to meet
for his own goal.
goals. Yes.
So he wants Horatio to gather the primes so he can kill them.
Yes. Yeah. So he definitely is the bad guy, and Horatio doesn't have any clue about it until Andre dies.
I was going to say.
He comes in and
Yeah.
realizes what's happening.
So does that make him love Wendy even more?
Horatio?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he thinks that, Wendy taking over the guild she's doing that because remember, Shia also has a connection to the Amalgam.
Uh-oh.
So Horatio has plants everywhere. Whether Shia is or is not is yet to be determined.
To be determined.
It's expressed at some point where Ezra talks to Horatio about, how many do you have at the guild? And it's a huge number.
Really?
So the number of people who belong to the Amalgam and the guild is quite high.
Quite high.
Yeah, and so nobody really knows that this kind of subversive thing is happening.
I need to go back and read all these. I will say that they're even more exciting as we've talked, because I've kept from entertaining any sort of spoiler talk for so many years that I haven't had anybody to talk about the books with. But it's been now that they've been out for, what do we say, 8 years, 9?
2013 for 9 years.
9 years. Now that they've been out for almost 10 years, it's time to kind of tell the story. And for those who are a huge fan of the series, we've been recording the Book Talk Tuesdays on our YouTube channel. Let's see if he'll
stand up. Let me see if I stand up.
All right. We've been recording the Book Talk ever since we did the first one. Francisco or Frederick. Sorry, I can't remember which F. Someone was like, "Oh my gosh, I got off work late. Did you guys record this?" And so we've been recording them on our YouTube channel and streaming them on our Twitch, and they're available in our Twitter stream. So if you go to any of those at Color World Books and you look up, you can go back and watch all of the Book Talk Tuesdays except for the first one. And at some point, Rachel and I will sit down when babies aren't involved and kind of redo the first Book Talk Tuesday for those people. But they are definitely full of not holding back. Yeah, lots of spoilers and talking about different events in the book. The book series, for those that have never jumped into, I do have a copy of Dreamworld. You want to hand me that Dreamworld? So we got so far into the series that we were concerned that new readers would find, kind of like starting an anime that has 600 episodes. We were concerned that everybody would be hesitant to jump into a book series that had now 9 books. And so Rachel wrote book 5 in a way that you can actually start in book 5, just like Star Wars, where you can start in the middle of the story. And then if you just absolutely love it, you can go back and read the prequels, what essentially become prequels. And the gentleman that owns the marketing department that we work with full time, Zova Marketing, he actually is the first one to ever jump into book 5 and never for a second felt like,
Confused.
yeah, he never felt like, oh, I'm missing so much in the first 4 books that this was a bad choice. He loved it, enjoyed it, and was excited to market the latest book that just dropped on Valentine's Day. So I need to, before he sees this Book Talk Tuesday or Book Talk Wednesday for this edition, he asked for all of the editions of Waterworld. So I'll package those up and send them out to Aaron. But as you can see, this book is a beast. And so you can actually kind of get caught up in the series and start from here and then dive into, there are now 4 volumes of Waterworld. We've talked about Ezra today. That was the first volume. And then it goes, oh, Charlotte. The second, and these are, they're kind of bite-sized, especially after you chew on Dreamworld. The Waterworld volumes are smaller. And then, yep, I've got Xavier. And so then those are all four volumes. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And Rachel likes to always know like where you're at in the series. And so all of the spines, the covers have, which book is, I think the Duke game is on, which is what I think that noise. Oh, there's 1%. And right on cue. Dude, done. Look at that. Like a champ. I caught it at 1%. Crystal, welcome in. Del Marie, welcome in. Edna, Ava, welcome in, everyone. Yeah, so if you all have questions, let us know. Otherwise, I think I did not get a chance to. The only nutrition I've had is my powerful drink. I've been looking for a chance to head to dinner. But if you want to see any of the books in the series, if you have a question for Rachel, if you started reading, if you've ordered a book on Pop Shop or before, they've, the first one's been out since 2013. So there's no shortage of people that have got their hands on Color World. And if you had a question, by all means, if there's a bookmark you want to see, I put 80 different metal bookmarks in the catalog. So if there's a metal bookmark that you all want to see before we say goodnight for the evening, you let us know. Mr. Yovel, I think, is ready to. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to see what my time looks like to see if I can do free shipping Friday. We were kind of, normally I wouldn't take all the stuff out of the van, but somebody hit us on Monday. And so while the van's being repaired in someplace in Illinois, south of Chicago, we got a U-Haul and we hauled it all back here. So we might get that stuff out and do a free shipping Friday if you all are interested in things other than, but we're going to keep doing, we have 3 more Book Talk Tuesdays. So next week we're going to do Charlotte, which is the book that Rachel was like most scared to write. And then we're going to do Xavier. And then we'll finish off with number 4, Soraya, which is the latest book in the Color World book series. And then all of those will be available for review on the YouTube. For those of you that want to go and check out the earlier stuff, let's go. The social media is at Color World Books. At Color World Books. Okay, bam. There's the social media. If you want to go on YouTube and type that in and go watch any of the Book Talk Tuesdays. And then I feel like the favorites, the store favorites, are the books in the book series if you want to grab one of those offline. And then again, the 9-book combo is available right now for a hugely discounted price of $130 at colorworldbooks.com. And then on the multi-stream, I can even put in the link to is it under new book? Buy books. There we go. We'll put it under buy books. colorworldbooks.com/shop. And then we'll put that. Yo, what's up, April? To grab the 9-book combo deal, you can head to. All right, and then that should stay up as a comment as a comment on the Facebook Live, the YouTube video, and the Twitch. I don't know how long Twitch videos are available, but if you prefer, if Twitch is your platform of choice and you're just joining us now and you missed the rest of the book talk, you should be able to see at least today's and maybe last week on our Twitch channel, if that's your preferred way to consume content. So thanks to everybody for joining us on the later edition of Book Talk Wednesday. We would have done it on Tuesday, but sadly we had that accident. Yeah, dubbed anime recommendations. Yeah, John, I highly recommend that you watch last year's anime of the year, which is Jobless Reincarnation. And we've started a new one, Kicked Out of the Heroes Party, to banished from the Heroes Party to live a quiet life in the countryside. It's a very long anime name, but it's being directed by Christopher Waycamp, who's a good friend of ours. And it's absolutely spectacular. In a lot of animes, everybody wishes for the ship the whole time. They're just like waiting for the couple to get together. And in this anime, they get together in like the first 4 or 5 episodes. And it's actually nice to just watch an anime in which you're not rooting. You know, they get together and then you can watch. I know that that's a huge part of what Rachel wrote in Color World is for Gabe and Wendy to get together. Because every love story is about getting together, but none of the love stories show you what it's like to be together. So I really like that anime, probably for that reason, that they get together and you get to enjoy them together, and then life still keeps going on once you get married. It doesn't just end at wedding bells and then everyone dies. And they certainly riding off into the sunset is pretty unrealistic. It's a lot of work once you hear wedding bells. So check out those 2 animes on Funimation. I think they'll be worth a watch for you. So John, thanks for tuning in. Everyone else on Pop Shop Live, thanks for tuning in. Twitch, YouTube. And we'll see you. We're back to Tuesday. I'm not at Level Up Expo this weekend. If you are in the Las Vegas area, please go see 3J. Mark is new to the team, and Jeff Bezos. Go see those guys at Level Up Expo. That's what we call him, man. He's the money guy. Go see Jeff Bezos, 3J, and Mark at Level Up Expo. Starts this Friday in Las Vegas, and we'll see you somewhere in America. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Oh, what's it gonna take, Beth?